My name is Sandra Hawi, and this is Pepea Stories of Change. My name is Sandra Hawi. Professionally, I'm a teacher. I also am a professional model. I do designing as well, that is crochet designing. Yeah, and I'm also a member of Pepea support group. My journey from childhood, I would say that in regards to mental health, it was majorly affected with the kind of environment that I came from, because I came from a broken home or a toxic environment, I can mention. So at that particular point, I didn't actually realize the effects that they had on me as an individual. Until later on is when I realized that there are some effects that they did, especially on the negative side, you see. So I was this kind of girl, a young girl who is very bitter, unfriendly, you know, so much irritated easily and stuff, yeah. And it all came as a result of that particular environment that I was in. Yeah, so at a younger age, I couldn't really know what that was, but I knew I wasn't okay, you know, yeah.
Umeona Sandra of late? Yeah, nimekutana na yeye.
And I change a lot.
Alafu ako na tabia weird. Like hata wewe haeleweki kabisa.
Yeah, sure. So I did school well, some issues around, you know, and actually in 2021 is when I was like, this, whatever I'm fighting is getting worse, because I would feel like I'm so heavy, my head is so heavy, I wouldn't even think straight. And every time it's like I used to cry and stuff. So I was like, I think at this particular point, I cannot do this alone. Let me go and seek for extra help.
I feel terrible about all this. They hate me. I feel bad about myself. Oh God, why? God, why?
So I went to PDO Kenya, where I met the therapist, the psychologist, and the psychiatry, where I was diagnosed with major depression. And I think at that particular point, it came as a relief. For one, it is a shock and as a relief, and a relief at the same time, because for one, why is it a shock? I wasn't ready to be told that, you know, I'm going through a mental condition, because the picture that I had about people who are having a mental condition was so different from what I know right now. And then it was a relief because now at least I know what I was fighting with, you know, because those times I would go to hospitals every now and then, but I would feel like I'm not getting better. So at least at this particular point, I know already this is what I'm fighting, and maybe when it comes to treatment, could have been easier. So I had to accept the situation, and I was like, I really need to get out of this. So I had to really accept it and embrace the situation. First, I've learned a lot on mental health. Things that I never knew. So they provide psycho-education. So I've learned so much. And then the treatment bit of it as well is really helped me with the process. And then also we are going for community reach out, where we talk about our lived experiences. So it makes you to make peace with whatever you're going through it, you know. I would say for one, the ultimate goal that I have is sometimes I'm like, now what if I give up? I'm not going to be that person that I really wanted to be, you know. And then also the people around me, I can say they're not so many, but those who are around me, those who understand me. So sometimes I'm like, what if I try to harm myself? I'm not doing this to myself alone, but I'm also hurting the others who are around me. So those are some of the things that keep me going. My coping mechanism, like I mentioned, I'm a designer. So most of the time I do designing to distract me from a lot of thoughts, that is, because with depression it comes with a lot of thinking, you overthink and stuff. So to control that, I engage in designing, that is. Yes, so this practice actually helps me to cope with my mental condition, because it's so distracting in that aspect. Because anytime I take the needle and start crocheting, I find my energy is all focused on what I'm doing rather than being focused on other things. So it is one of my coping mechanisms when it comes to mental health. Yeah. And then I also model. So sometimes I take time off and just do my things out there. Yeah, that has been coping mechanism. And then also sharing these lived experiences with people. You know, when you talk about them, the weight lessens. Yeah, so that has been my coping mechanism. One, I will talk about stigmatization, or even coming out clearly and telling people around you that, you know, I'm not okay, this is what I'm going through. And you realize that these people are judging you. It's like you are incapable of doing things. Once they label you as incapable of doing things when you have a mental condition, you see. So that has been one challenge. And then, yeah, coming out and speaking about it has been one challenge. And then also on the side of the treatment, it's not like this journey is a smooth journey. It has ups and downs. So sometimes you relapse and then you come back. So those are some of the challenges that I've encountered. I'm currently running this foundation that is known as Hawi Designs Foundation. So it came as a result of the environment where I come from. So I'm like empowering young girls and women to become sustainable, or rather they should have an independent mindset where they can even earn a source of livelihood. In case they're in such kind of situations, they can easily get themselves out. They're not stuck in those kind of environment. So this foundation is training these women some fashion skills. We're doing crocheting, we're doing knitting, we're doing basketry as well. So you realize that these are some practical skills that anyone who has an interest can learn. And the ultimate goal is to provide some livelihood for these particular young women. Sometimes we look at people and say that, but she had a life all figured out. She had everything that she wanted. But why did she had to, you know, go by suicide, that is? So looking at somebody and, how will I say this, and concluding that this person has it all figured out and they are well, they do not need maybe support and stuff, it is not right. I think it's high time we realize that having people around us who can check on us from day-to-day basis is of great importance, such that, you know, we are not having cases where this person is at a rock bottom and she's like, or he's like, but who cares after all? Who cares? So she just does it. So it's important that we check on people, or these are friends of ours who are very successful, they have their life all figured out, because honestly, it is not the truth. They go through so much, and we need people around us to give us that energy to continue living, or that psyche to continue living.